Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and we are playing along again with the Clue game. And I have just done my first roll of the dice, which was number 2. Then I did a number 6, and now a number 3. Now I have to go and do my next set of rolling to find out what. So I've got a 1, I've got a 1, and I've got 1. 1 was the popular for this round. So let's see what it's asking me to do for you. I have to go now to my checklist and I cross-reference it. The first roll tells us the Who, and number 2 is Colonel Mustard. So I'm going to try to write down Colonel Mustard. Number 6 was the candlestick. That's the what. And the where is in number 3, the craft room. So I've got Colonel Mustard, the candlestick, and the craft room. The next one, I'm now finding out what that means I have to create with. So number 1 for Colonel Mustard is yellow sequins. Oh, that'll be a challenge. I've got to go and find some. So I need to use yellow sequins on my page. The next thing I have to do is use the what, well, the candlestick. And number 1 for the candlestick means I have to create a favorite food page. Oh, well, that'd be interesting. Favorite food page. Could be anything, really. If it was favorite drink, it was easy. But favorite food? I have to think about that one. And then I have number 1 in the craft room, which comes out as a floral pattern paper. Well, that's pretty easy. Most pattern papers I have florals on them, so I should be able to manage that okay. All right, so we are playing the clue game with Ginger's Corner, and what we have to do is follow the clues from our rolls of the dice, and you just saw me do my rolls for this layout. I have to use a pattern paper with florals on it. Now this one does have florals on it, minimal florals, but I am going to pull in some more pattern papers in strips with florals to meet that criteria. That was because I was in the craft room in the game of Clue. And I'm just going to gut this one because I'm using it as my external frame. And you can just see the pink florals on that one. I'm going to keep those branding strips because we're playing striptease this month and I need those. And I'm just cutting off extra trim down here, which I will be using later on the layout, and you'll see that. Now this is going to be my background. And as I said, I'm pulling in 2 more floral strips to add to my layout, and that's going to create the criteria of floral pattern paper. Now, when I decided to play this game, I thought I like the idea of rolling a dice and telling me what I have to use. It really gets you into stash bust. Now, if you go over to Ginger's Corner on Facebook, you can see all of the prompts for the clue game and you can play along too. Ginger does have a video explaining the prize that you can win, and you can watch that. There is a playlist that's going to be linked down below to go and see all the people playing along with Ginger. And you're going to get inspired by some amazing layouts. Trust me, I've been watching and there are some very, very talented people out there. All right, with my floral strips, I've got a subtle yellow and white floral, which is going to tone down the base of this layout, but also adds the yellow from the strip and from that paper in the background. I'm using a paper punch to create a decorative edge just to add that little bit of interest to my layout. And then I have the green floral paper here, which I'm also using to bring in the florals onto the page as per the request of the challenge. Now, a paper punch is an easy way of getting decorative with your papers and taking a plain strip and turning it into something else that looks a little bit more interesting on your layout. Now, I'm going to have these down here as a horizontal ledge for my photos to land on, and these are my photos. It said to do a favorite food. So the crime implement was a candlestick, and that told me that I needed to use a favorite food page. So my favorite food, not many people know, oh actually probably a lot of people know, but actually my favorite food, I am the biscuit queen. I seriously cannot go without biscuits. So when I am really, really, really on a weight binge and I'm really, really watching what I'm doing, there are no biscuits in the house. There cannot be biscuits in the house because I cannot say no. If I know there are biscuits in the house, then I will find them. The only biscuits that I really don't like, and this is going to make a lot of Australians cringe, is that I don't get Tim Tams, but everybody else does, so that's their choice. But me personally, being a biscuit queen, I don't get Tim Tams. Not my cup of tea. But lots and lots of people do, and I know that overseas lots and lots of people want our Tim Tams from here in Australia. But you get that. That's how it works. And but I love a good plain butter biscuit, or at Christmas time I love shortbread biscuits. And they're my preferred biscuits. But, you know, I'll eat others that are in the house. And my mum used to laugh that when I was a kid, she would wake up in the middle of the night and I would be on chairs up in cupboards eating biscuits in the middle of the night asleep. So I am the biscuit queen. That's my favourite food. These photos are of of a set of biscuits that my daughters were making one day using the 100 biscuit recipe. It is the best recipe. Makes 100 biscuits. You can add toppings, flavors, whatever you like. In this case, we were using chocolate chips and mini M&Ms to create these biscuits, but you could add caramel bits, you could add Nutella, you could add sprinkles, whatever you wanted to add. Macadamia nuts would be great in them. You know, drops of raspberry jam would be awesome in them. So these are the types of things. This biscuit recipe is the best. So that's why I thought I would do this layout as my favorite food, because without a doubt, hands down, biscuits are the best. I seriously cannot go without a biscuit. All right, so back to my layout. I'm putting on the string across there to hold it. It looks like it's holding those photos in place, and I've put the title So Yummy. Now, because it is a food thing, of course you need doilies. Now, these look really great now, but they actually get a little bit covered throughout, and they're only peeking out, which is great because that's what I wanted them to do. Didn't want them to be dominant on the layout. I just want them to peek out. But I chose doilies because they are food related, and they tuck in behind the photos there and up in that top right hand corner where I am going to put in my cluster at the top. So I'm just making sure that they're down and they will hold their place. Next, I am going to use the leftover paper that I trimmed off, and I'm going to bring in a little bit more. I'm using a bit more of this green that I backed my photos with, and I'm going to tie that in. And then I'm using the framing photo as well to create some fishtail banners, which I'm going to use on the page to tie my elements all together. Now, I like this page. It's a busy page. I am a busy scrapbooker. I do like to have lots of things going on. I like your eye to be busy and engaged and looking around to see what's there. You could have just left it with the doilies if you'd like. You could just not have the doilies. You could just have it as the horizontal and your photos. So there's lots of options when you're creating, and you don't have to do lots and lots of layers, but I love layering and I love lots of detail, and I like looking at layouts that have lots of things on them. I think they tell half the story as well, and they help promote what's going on in your layouts. That's my opinion. I know there are other people that are clean and simple and just want it nice and clean. So it's all about your way, your style, your type. Now I'm putting these fishtail banners over here to the side, and I'm tucking them in under the photos over the doily. The doily does peek out, which is great, which is what I wanted it to do. I didn't want it to be a dominant feature, but I wanted it to just be part of the layout. So I'm tucking these little fishtails in. They are anchor points for my embellishments, which I'm going to add to the layout. And all of my embellishments that I'm adding to this layout, I have fussy cut from the Sweet Treats range of Scrap-A-Sketch, and also the cooking range that she has in her printables. So go and check it out. What's it called? Bon Appetit, I think. Yes, Bon Appetit. So go and check out Scrap-A-Sketch. I'll have that also down the bottom if you're after some embellishments to match whatever theme you're doing. She has over 350 different sets, so go and check them all out. You will love the printables. They are amazing, and they're always bright and they're always colourful, and you can just top them off and they match any theme that you have now. She's got quite a lot going, so good ways of getting embellishments, and you can print them any size you like, and they come out just beautifully. So surprise, surprise, I've actually done journaling again. What a miracle. 2 layouts with typed journaling. I can't believe it. I really need to get back into doing this regularly, and I do like the effect it has on the layout. It tells the story. It gives that detail, and because it's typed and I'm putting it into strips, it actually fits into the page like it's meant to. So I have typed up my story, which says, biscuits are my downfall, always have been and always will be. I love a plain butter or shortbread, and this 100 biscuit recipe is right up my alley. They call me the biscuit queen, and that's what I've put on my journaling strips there, and they are on that tag, which I've also included into that top embellishment. And I like how this sits on the layout. Sometimes when you don't have people in your layout, you're wondering what the layout's about, so the journaling makes that happen. And so I'm just layering the strips in along the tag. I could have put the tag in and typed into the tag, but I like the effect these strips give. It adds that extra level of a layer. And I'm loving how this has all come together. So by adding in all the white, I'm bringing down the bright colours and toning it down. And that's just a little tip when you're using those very busy papers. So I'm tucking in a little journaling card over there, as you can see, and it's got the cooking apron, which I'm putting down here. So it's turning it over to the left and the right. And then I'm tucking in the recipe book with the biscuit, which was handy, had a biscuit on that. And then I have my scales and a mixing bowl. Then I have some little cookies, which I've been able to cut out from those printables and add them to my layout. I've got my cooking mitt, my rolling pin, and I'm just loving how these all layer up and add to the layout. The hearts I'm able to tie into my 3 points around the layout, and that adds that little point of interest for everything. I'm tucking them all in, and I'm quite happy with how that's sitting. And so I went off screen and stuck them all down. You didn't need to see me gluing that all down. I have put some pop tape in underneath a few of them so that they add dimension and pop up off the layout. And then I have this sticker sheet from Chamel, and I'm putting in the title, and it says #yum. That's as simple as it needs to be, and that's what I'm putting in here. And the colours match the layout. So I just love how this all comes together. These papers actually were from this same Chamel pad, the base papers. The pad is box of crayons, I think. So even though you have a theme with your packs of paper, this shows how you can mix and match and create a different theme, even though it has a destined theme by the creator. So papers can be mixed, matched, put together, and blend and complement each other, as you can see here. All it comes down to is making sure that your colours actually match. So I'm putting in some Nuvo Deluxe glue drops, and the reason is I'm adding in my yellow sequins. Now remember, Colonel Mustard needed yellow sequins, so I went and found a pack of sequins, and there were yellow in it, and I picked out all the yellows for this layout, and I'm so glad I had some lying around. I was getting a bit worried about finding some yellow sequins, but I was able to find some, and I'm just adding them splattered around the layout. Normally I use Nuvo drops. Today I'm using the sequins, and I'm loving how this is all come together. It's such a very eye candy, lots of eye candy here for you to roam around the layout and have a look. So if you want to join in with Ginger, head over to her Facebook page, find out all the details. I will put the links down below so that you can go to all of these. Remember to check back regularly on here, because I will have a whole month of playing with Ginger's clue game, and you'll be able to see all the layouts that I've created along the way. So this is my second layout, and I'm just using some faux stitching around my base here, and that's to lift that up off that frame. It is subtle, and I'm doing it in the white to bring down those extra bright colours. And remember, that's just a bit of a tip when you're using bright colours. White allows you to bring it down. So I'm just putting in some faux stitching here to finish off the edging. And I really do like how this is turning out. What do you think? Let me know. What's your favourite food? What do you like to eat? Or what's your secret that your secret food that you don't let everybody know that this is what you really, really prefer over everything? I always remember my grandmother telling me that desserts first, then the meal. And I always say now I eat desserts first because it's stressed backwards. So it's a great way of de-stressing. So I'm liking how that's going. I think I need to make that journaling stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to go around the outline with black, and that's going to make it pop up in that area at the top of my layout. And I just like how this has come together. It's different to what I thought it would be. I'm not going to lie. I really wasn't sure how I was going to do this, but I actually do like how it's come together in the end. And it is a fun page. It's just fun. It's a recording of my likes. You can do it for anything. It's just something that is really simple. 2 photos, some embellishing, lots of color, lots of different visuals, and there you go. You have a layout that reflects you or your personal taste of food in whatever it may be. So come along, play Clue, roll the dice, see how clever you are at using the clues to create a layout, and I'm sure you're going to be very thrilled with what you come up with. And remember, if you do play over on Ginger's Corner, there's a chance to win, and her boxes and prizes are always super generous. So just join in, have some fun, get inspired by the other players. I know I do, because I love watching what other people do when they get given clues, and it's amazing how things come together so easily. There's my layout. Here's the close-up. You can see that top cluster there. You can see the journaling. You can see all of the stickers, that thread throwing that little bit of extra interest onto that layout. And that is case solved for my number 2 clue. Loving all the details of those biscuits. There you go, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope I've inspired you to get creative this week. If I have, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, I hope I've done enough for you to hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to build my channel, and I would love for you to come back and watch what I do each time. Happy scrapping, everybody. Here's my next video for you, and I'll see you over there real soon.